Narcissists love to get you upset. This can be by calling you degrading names, devaluing your accomplishments or things you hold dear, or accusing you of bad behaviors. This is often done to get you upset so that you do not focus on their behaviors. But it can also be done for their enjoyment, which is what this video is about. Sometimes the narcissist just starts a fight for no apparent reason, or calls or texts you out of the blue only to say hurtful things to the point that you cut the conversation. Afterward, you may be confused and wonder what the point of the conversation was. In this video, I will share an incident I witnessed as a bystander, where I overheard the before, during, and after conversation talk from a narcissistic person's viewpoint. Although it is only one person and one incident, what he said may shed some light on why narcissistic people sometimes start fights for no apparent reason. Hello wonderful person and welcome to Narcissistic Abuse Healing. I'm Anton and I create videos about abuse with a focus on narcissistic abuse to help you understand what was done to you and help you heal from it. Please help this channel grow by subscribing. If you find this video informative or helpful in any way, please like and share it so that more people can benefit from it. Quick scene setting. As is normal with small units close together, you're often forced to listen to your neighbor while in your place when they raise their voice too much. One of my neighbors came home late at night while being drunk as normal for him lately. Since I met him, he had been bragging about a massive contract he would be getting and all the money he would be making. However, as I learned from his ranting on the phone call in question, he did not get the contract due to him not having the minimum equipment and capital required to get the contract. He was upset that they wanted him to supply his own equipment and fund part of expenses and then later reimburse him when he did the first part of the contract. He reasons that he is so good that they would be lucky to have him and must supply him with everything and waive all requirements for him. Not getting the contract put him in a low mood, but a 5-day drinking spree did not solve, so he decided to deal with it in another way. The phone call. I became interested in what my neighbor was up to when he started loudly cursing in his flat and what sounded like him hitting stuff. At first, I could not figure out who he was cursing. Then I realized he was trying to call people at almost midnight and they did not pick up or cancelled his call. He was cursing them for not wanting to speak to him. After several tries, he finally managed to get a person to answer. Being drunk and basically yelling into the phone, I was forced to listen to the call. The call lasted about 8 minutes, and from the start, my neighbor started to criticize and devalue the person. He would ask a question and then laugh at the answer, or calling him a degrading name, or even cursing him. He did at one point admit he did not get the contract, and that financially he is doing badly. But he quickly switched back to humiliating and devaluing the person he called. The person was called something in almost every sentence, such as a loser, dumb, worthless, and some words YouTube would not like. I felt sorry for the person who seemed to, from the responses of my neighbor, try to defend himself by listing the accomplishments he managed over the years, only to have my neighbor laugh it away or devalue it in other ways. This barrage of uncalled for constant verbal abuse lasted until the person decided he had enough and cut the call. Although I was shocked by what my neighbor said during the call to a person he had not spoken to in a while, what took me more aback was the moment the call ended, my neighbor burst out in hysteria from laughter that went on for about 2 minutes. When he finally caught his breath, he still laughing yelled out, "Oh, that was so much fun getting him angry. I feel so much better now." And that there was a core aim of a call. His life is going down the drain, and instead of dealing with the consequences of his decisions or with his negative emotions, he decided to project them onto someone else. As he and his girlfriend recently split up, he had no convenient available person to dump his emotions on, so he looked for anyone who would talk to him with the sole purpose of making them feel like crap so that he could feel better. It did not matter to him who answered the phone or what he said to the person, as long as he could upset the other person. The reason for his questions was not because he was interested in how the person was doing. He just wanted the person to list what he thought was valuable to him or any accomplishments he was proud of so that my neighbor could shoot them down. When we are devalued, we often list what we think are our greatest achievements as defense of our value. That's why the devaluing hurts so much, as the narcissistic person is devaluing or insulting what we hold dear and sometimes see as our identity. Such as if you think you are a kind, generous and trustworthy person and you are constantly told by a narcissistic person that you are the most selfish, unkind and untrustworthy person they have ever met. Even if you do not believe it, there may be a little bit of doubt setting in, and it will hurt hearing those things. My neighbor was feeling down at that moment and wanted someone else to feel like that so that he did not have to deal with his feelings. 5 things stood out to me. With this experience, 5 things stood out to me. The effort he consciously went through to find someone to hurt to feel better himself. He kept on phoning people until someone took his call. The anger he felt when people did not take his call. This goes with research that showed that narcissists feel physical pain when being ignored. The sheer ecstasy he felt from hurting and upsetting someone he is not even in constant contact with. That he would admit to himself that he just hurt someone for his own pleasure, as he set out to do. If he knowingly gets so much enjoyment from other people's pain, he will not change, because that is his source of joy and also his way of dealing with his negative emotions. Telling him what he is doing is hurting others will not help, for he already knows it. Takeaway. Although this is one person and one incident, it does show that sometimes toxic people plan to hurt others for their pleasure, as well as the immense amount of pleasure someone can gain from hurting someone else without any care as to the consequences of their actions. There are several takeaways here. He did not care who answered the phone and kept trying until someone answered. He did not care what the answers were of the person he called. He just wanted to know what the person held dear so he could devalue it. He kept using different insults until he found those he got a response from. He aimed to get the other person upset, and he was prepared to go for as long as it takes and say whatever it takes to get the other person upset. He was not angry that the other person cut the call. He was ecstatic that he could get the other person so angry that the person cut the call. What this may show: if a narcissist goes off on you and calls you names, insults you, devalues you, or in other ways try to degrade you, don't take it personally. In many cases, you were just the most convenient person for them. The narcissist does not care what they say. They are looking for responses from you. The narcissist will keep at it until you walk away, or cut the call, or they get you to react emotionally. Nothing you say will get them to respect you. They have an agenda, and that is to get you emotional. They don't care about your proof, logic, arguments, or anything you have to say. All they are after is to feel better by upsetting you, or for you to stop trying to hold them accountable. Things to try. If you find yourself communicating with a person who devalues you and calls you names or accuses you of things, just end the conversation. There's no point in communicating with someone who has an agenda to upset you, and anything you say to try to defend yourself will just be ignored, mocked, or devalued, which will hurt you even more. The longer you communicate with such a person and the more information you share with them, the more abuse you will suffer. Cut the conversation as soon as possible and try to have as little contact with the person as you can in the future. If you do have to have contact with them, know what their aim is and that what they say are just words meant to hurt you. It is not your reality or your truth. You are not the things they call you or accuse you of. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative or helpful in any way, like and share it so that more people can benefit from it. If not subscribed, please subscribe now. Please leave a comment, as it helps to expand the information covered in the video, which may be of benefit to others. See my books on narcissism by following the links in the description. For donations, please use the donation button on the banner or follow the link in the description. Thank you.